I don't know who needs to hear this, but that one friend you're really obsessed with, it's time to let go of them. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, then hi, what's up? I like to make these videos when I have too many thoughts in my brain that you can only journal so many times before you're just like, I just need to say something. So here I am today. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about cutting people off, why you should do it, and why you should focus on yourself. I don't know why this is such a controversial thing for women to talk about, how we want independence and how we want to truly live a life just for us. People come in all the time and they're like, oh, but then that's being selfish, you should care about others. And pause. It's not like we're saying that we don't care about other people, but at the end of the day, you only have yourself, so it's very important that you take care of yourself. Duh. Second off, people think when we say that we're trying to take care of ourselves, that means we're just focused on money, we're focused on love, and when we're focused on love, we're kind of looking for people to be an asset of us, and that's just not true at all. When we're looking for passionate love, we're looking for something to put our passions in. I believe as women, a lot of us like to have that fiery passion and we like to put our entire selves into something. We like to work on our projects. We've been ingrained with this at such a young age. I mean, think about it. There's activities that we do that require extra steps, a little bit more than usual things. This is such a stupid analogy. I think every sociology kid is rolling around right now hearing me say this, but think of a dollhouse, right? When you have a dollhouse as a play set compared to a boy's truck set, they can do so many things with the truck, or only so many things that they can do. But the dollhouse, we have this dollhouse that we're supposed to keep for a long time, and we're supposed to change the scenes of it. And we want to because it feels stimulating for us. We're constantly used to change and organizing things and playing house in a way that feels like play. But a lot of times we're stressed out and overwhelmed because we do so much of it. It starts to become real as oh yeah, this is work and I'm overwhelmed. We forget that we have time to be ourselves and to find fulfilling things for ourselves that can be projects. They can still be projects that don't need to be work related. That was a handful of words. But again, this is something I'm so passionate about, and I feel like I need to express it because I spent so much of my life trying to change and fit myself into places where I didn't exactly fit. I grew up as a very socially awkward kid. I had friends, but I always felt like I was very different from my friends, and I'm not trying to be a pick-me bitch, oh, I'm different. No, it was hell. Every day I came home with anxiety, worried that my friends wouldn't like me because the way I expressed interest in things was very different from them. That is a symptom of growing up neurodivergent, and that's a conversation for another day. But the point is, I don't think I'm alone in this feeling, neurodivergent or not. I think as the female experience, we always feel different from other people because we're socialized to be different. We're also taught that our beauty is a very important attribute to ourselves. And some people are really lucky where they grow up and that doesn't really affect them. And to that, I say, bless up, good on you, because that's how we all need to start being, especially in the great year of 2026 with the rise of capitalism and overconsumption of products and all this stuff that we don't need. Now, I'm not saying we need to go back to minimalism because that just reduces a person and their personality, in my opinion. If you like the minimalism aesthetic, good on you. Do what you do. That makes you who you are. But don't become a minimalist because you feel like you're too much. And that goes for your personality and the way you express yourself as well. Do more, be more radical, be more expressive. Don't let someone dull your shine because they believe you're being too much. That's ridiculous. On the other hand, don't try to change yourself to suit the desires and what you think another person would like about you. This comes from personal experience too. I had someone in my life that I thought of very highly, and because of that, I put so much of my energy into making sure that I was doing things that they liked, or I would change my appearance in a way that I thought they would find desirable because I desperately wanted their approval. I thought this person was like at the top of the pyramid, the coolest person ever. Therefore, I just wanted them to accept me, and it didn't matter how they accepted me. I wanted them to accept me, period. I think this issue isn't just a personal one. I think a lot of people can relate to this, not just girls and women. Like, I think a lot of people in general can relate to that they can be so obsessed with someone that they kind of lose themselves through that obsession. But that makes everything come full circle, right? If you're taught that that's what you should do, it's gonna feel natural to you to do that. So when it gets to a point where you experience like the burnout of that, because it's starting to feel like work and not like, oh, I'm gonna try wearing pink because I saw blah, blah, blah wearing pink and I never wore pink before. Yay, this is fun, I wore pink. That becomes something that goes on for like 5 years to a point where you're just like, I don't even know who I am anymore. And you feel the desire to go out and change multiple parts of yourself. It stops being about clothing, it stops being about hair and makeup, it starts being about personality. I knew a girl once upon a time who, after a breakup, she just completely lost herself and she tried changing everything about herself so she would feel more like herself again, to the point where she was trying to change her own laughter because she was told that her laugh is really loud. Like, girl, what? We need more laughter. We need more fun. Come on. Like, why are you trying to change your laugh? That's absurd. That's just crazy. I think when we find something that inspires us, it's really hard for us to detach from that item or that person or that thing. Like, we make it a core part of our identities and we let it dictate our next steps and what we're doing in our life. Like, for example, a new job. You get a new job, you meet all these new people, so you're putting in more effort to change the appearance of yourself. And I'm not just talking about physical appearance, like the way you like embody yourself, it starts to change. There's natural changes that come with that, and then there's choices that we make to enhance that embodiment, I'm going to say. Like, it's okay to go get a haircut, you know, you want to look good, you want to feel good. Like, do stuff like that because you know it's going to make you feel good. Don't do it because you feel like you have to, because you feel like you should be ashamed of a past version of yourself. We seriously need to stop obsessing over the idea that our past selves are the worst versions of us. There is no worst version of you. I mean, technically there can be, but like, seriously, if you hadn't gone through those things that made you recognize and label it as the fact that this was your worst era, then you wouldn't have learned the things that you learn now. You wouldn't have known how to avoid certain things. Years ago, I made the mistake of letting a man take over my finances, and that was the dumbest decision I've ever had, and I can label it as that, but I'm not going to beat myself up for the decision that I made because I was persuaded into that, because I firmly believe that this was someone I could be dependent on. And because of that false narrative that I had about this person, it led to countless mistakes, and mistakes that I've absolutely learned from. I'm very protective over certain things in my life because I was taught to be, but that doesn't mean that I have to stay this protective about it forever. It just means that I have a better conscience and a sense of respect for myself, in which I can be more independent because I know how to control these assets in my life. That doesn't mean that I will never face another hardship like that again. There's the chance of that happening, there really is, but that doesn't mean that I have to be stuck. I remember what happened last time and how I overcame it, and I appreciate myself for that. I look back at myself and I don't even worry about what she looked like or what she was going through or how she felt. all I want to do is say thank you to her. Thank you for letting me exist now. Thank you for getting me through that. And thank you for these lessons that I now have that I can share with others if they're ever in a similar situation. One of the biggest things that I learned from that period of my life is that when people find you in a vulnerable state, there's some people that truly want to help you, and you'll know when they truly want to help you if they're not trying to change you. There's people who want to help you, but they believe you have to change everything about your life. That is a predatory behavior because they're now trying to get you to become dependent on them. Not good. Sometimes some people don't even realize they're doing it, and for that I say, you know, like, you can have some lenience on that, because there's some people who like truly don't even realize that that can be harmful, and they have very good intentions. But that does bring us back to you as a person. What is your intention in moving forward? What you do does matter, because what you do depends on how your future self is going to look back on that moment. So from this moment on, you should be focusing on what's going on in the present and what you can do now. That's such basic advice, but it really is true. Like, if you can't do anything to foster your needs in the present moment, in the future, you're gonna have more problems because you didn't take care of things when they needed to be taken care of. And that's not to overwhelm you. I know we have so much shit going on in our lives. Like, believe me, I'm right there with you. Some days I can't even keep up. Some days I just have to bite the bullet and say, you know what, I can't do all of this today. And I let it be that. I don't beat myself up for it. There's some days where I'm really in my bag because I'm like, damn, I really could have done more. But if you can look yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, like, I really did my best and I have been doing my best. It's okay that one day I have a little slip up. Bitch, you're gonna be just fine, because that's what matters. At the end of the day, looking at yourself, knowing with confidence that you are putting your best foot forward, you are going to make such a difference in your life. Your mindset is going to change. We talk about growth mindset all the time in psychology, and it is the only tool that you need to start living a better life. It's not the only tool, but trust me, it's a good starter. It's a good foundation. So I know you're probably thinking right now, Rain, what's the point of whatever you said in the beginning of this video? This is my point. We're talking about you today. We're talking about ourselves today. We don't need to worry about what anybody else thinks about us. It took me several years to get that through my brain, that I don't need the opinion of my friends in order for me to live a fulfilling life. I have friends now that I can be myself around. I can express how I feel, my needs, my interests, and I don't have any anxiety or any worry that they're gonna think less of me for that. People that you can feel like you can be yourself around, and you don't have to change into this new shape or form of yourself, those are the people that can stay in your life for a long time. You can go distant from them, you can come right back, and it's gonna be strong. It's going to be just like it was the first time. But if you have a friend where constantly, oh, the sirens are coming. They're coming for that friend. I had a friend that I really valued. This was the same person that I was talking about before in other videos too. But like, I thought she was so cool. And I loved the way that she displayed her confidence. Or maybe I mistook it as confidence, because everything was about her life. When we had conversations, she wouldn't check in on me and how I was doing. It would always be about her. And my mistake is that I let that go on for way too long before I said something. That's my biggest mistake coming out of that friendship, is that I reduced myself because I wanted her to be the spotlight. I wanted her to be the center of attention, because to me, she was my light. But the thing is, I wanted to be her so bad because of the way that she was able to just capture the attention of people. But for me, it made me sit in the shadow and basically become a fan. She didn't really care about me as much as I cared about her. And that hurt. It did hurt. There was a lot of healing that I had to do in that. But coming out of it, I've learned that I can be that person. I can display that confidence. I can talk about myself without being worried. Like I said, the right people, if you do that with them, they're not going to judge you for that. But there's going to be people who are waiting for you to slip up just so they can use that as blackmail against you, to say like, you're too self-centered, you're too selfish, all you do is think about yourself. But we have to think about ourselves so we're not reducing ourselves, and that way we're actually able to live the life we're meant to live. If you truly believe that like, hey, I could do so much more with my life, then do it. Do it. Push everyone away. I mean, I'm not saying like shut everyone out and isolate yourself. That can go really bad. But you don't have to worry about other people when you're moving forward, because if you believe when you move forward, it's going to capture someone's attention and they're going to come right up there to stop you or ask you what's going on. Those are the people that are trying to keep you stuck because they're truthfully afraid. I feel like that's some type of advice that like a teacher would give you. Like, it's just like, oh, this boy pushed me on the playground. It's like, oh, he pushed you because he liked you. Like, no, I don't want to get it twisted like that. What I'm trying to say is, if you see a future for yourself and that future cannot be a true future without certain things involved, such as like a friend or a career, then I don't know if that's your future. Because here's a little secret. We're not supposed to know what comes in 5 years. The way our life exists right now is that everything is constantly changing. So it does make it, on a realistic note, it does make it pretty hard to predict what's going to happen in the next 5 years. And that goes for everybody. Like, sure, you can have your plan, you can have your idea of what you want your future to look like, but don't feel like you're falling behind because what happens next year wasn't what you predicted last year. That doesn't mean that you're behind that at all. It just means that you're in a different path from the one that you thought of, because that's the thing. A thought is a thought. A thought is a thought, and it can do no harm. What happens inside your head only impacts you, but you have a choice on how you want to move forward. There isn't a right or a wrong choice. I mean, there's some decisions that you can make that may not be the best ones, but all it means is that it puts you on a different path. You don't need to stop what you're doing and, again, shrink yourself because of one simple decision or because of one incident that happened to you. What happened to you doesn't make you who you are. You might have some labels that are true about yourself, like I'm someone's daughter, I'm someone's girlfriend, I'm someone's friend. These are the outer circles of us. In my inner circle, I'm Rain, and I'm a girl who likes making these YouTube videos and sharing her thoughts. At the end of the day, that's the stuff that matters. That's the stuff that's gonna move you forward. My parting piece of advice for all of you watching today is to do something for yourself today. Do something that makes you feel like you're just you. It doesn't have to be magnificent. It doesn't need to be grand and like this amazing thing. Like, it doesn't even have to be productive. If you like this sweater that you own and you know that people hate it, just wear it. Just wear it. Who cares what anybody thinks? You want to send a double text because you want to hear someone reply to you? Send the double text. But what you're not going to do is let your life be dictated by that person because they're not texting you back. You hear me? Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it inspired you to live a more authentic life for yourself, because we all need to start doing it. I will see y'all in the next video. Bye!